finally, we may have some answers about President Autopen Joe Biden. A report from the House Oversight Committee just dropped the bombshell that not only did Biden's staff cover up his mental decline, they did use the Autopen without his knowledge.
Do you know who the people who were actually operated the Autopen were?
I do not.
Can you read your response?
I approve the use of the Autopen for the execution of all the following pardons. Thanks, Jay-Z.
Did you yourself write this email?
I do not believe I did.
Uh-oh. Now this could officially undo the Biden presidency, making it null and void, just like the pardons. Wake up, Sleepy Joe, because potential criminal penalties are coming for you and your friends. So the House Oversight Committee finally dropped its report on President Biden's use of Autopen and the cover-up of his mental decline. And as you probably already guessed, because you have eyeballs and a working brain, there was a coordinated cover-up of his deterioration from the public. I know. Oh my gosh. Show me your shocked face. What? But more importantly, the senior Biden staff exercised presidential authority or facilitated executive actions without direct authorization from President Biden himself. And now that they've found all of this out through the report, they consider that any action that was signed with Autopen is null and void if it is discovered that Joe Biden did not know about it, which is, of course, the right call. First of all, America didn't elect Joe Biden. I will take that to my grave. The 2020 election was rigged. Joe Biden did not get 81 million votes more than Barack Obama, and it was not the safest and most secure election of all time. But if we are to assume that America elected this man, weekend at Bernie's president, you can't do that. You can't farm out his decisions and his signatures to his senior staff without him even knowing about it. So this is now being referred to Attorney General Pam Bondi to look into. He signed hundreds of actions with Autopen. We already know that as a fact. The question is, which ones did he actually know about? And now that will be in the hands of the DOJ. But I mean, we had all of these pardons, all of these preemptive pardons on the way out the door. In the 11th hour, Joe Biden was like, President Autopen was like, just to be sure, I'm going to sign pardons for all of my family and for Dr. Fauci and Mark Milley and the January 6th fake committee members, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, Adam Kinzinger, Jamie Raskin. They didn't commit crimes. Why would you suggest such a thing? It's just a just in case. And so if he didn't know about these, they won't exist. And then, Dr. Fauci, we're coming for you. Here to join me to discuss all of this are two of my very dear friends. We have Chad Prather, host of the Chad Prather Show, along with Breanna Morello, of course, of the Breanna Morello Show, along with InfoWars. You guys, well, by the way, can I just for a second, you guys are overachievers. You both have different shows going on. Breanna's got like multiple different shows going on. Chad has Before the Noise in the mornings. And you guys are just like, I don't know, you're just making me look lazy and I don't appreciate it. Breanna, I'm gonna go to you first. Ladies first here. What's your take on this?
Surprise. I was sitting back and watching the pardons as they were going out. And, Joe Biden allegedly gave clemency to a convicted pedophile, somebody with thousands of child pornographic images on his devices. He was also a Chinese national. And so that was kind of the first big red flag on all of this. And then the media covered for it. They didn't actually cover that story at all. I think I was the only reporter talking about it initially. And then everyone else caught wind of it afterwards. So it's not surprising. I couldn't imagine why any president would have wanted their legacy to be freeing a convicted pedophile with over 42,000 child pornographic images on their devices. So that's what happened. And the fact that he pardoned the whole J6 committee when they pretend like everything was legitimate tells you everything you need to know about all of this.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the question becomes, Chad, will Pam Bondi do anything about it?
That's a big question. The other big question is why you didn't have me on for the EBT segment. I'm mad at you for that. But we've talked for years about this shadow government. But now we know the real shadow was right in front of us. You've got a White House run by handler staffers, an electric pen that never blinks, never questions, never thinks, right? So here's the thing. will she do anything about it? Well, this isn't a partisan issue anymore. It's a constitutional meltdown, because if the president's authority can be automated, then what's left of the republic, right?
Right.
So we have to investigate this, because the presidency was never meant to be a remote controlled office. It's supposed to be one man, one conscience, one signature. If you're going to talk about executive authority and the executive is missing, we got a problem, because that whole deal, backed by the weight of his awareness and responsibility, which we know was in cognitive decline, you got to investigate this. So please, this is not a partisan issue. Please, we got to get to the bottom of this. They're not going to get to the bottom of the 2020 election that you alluded to earlier. We've got to at least look at this, because these are some real criminals, as Breanna alluded to, that need to be held accountable.
Yeah, Breanna, I know that you have not been shy about criticizing the DOJ and the Attorney General's office when necessary. I don't know that I trust Pam Bondi to get to the bottom of anything.
Yeah, I saw a tweet where she was asking for just more information to be given over to her office, and that she's received it too. She confirmed that. I think it was a couple of hours ago. So she's aware of all of this. Now, again, we've known this for quite some time now. And I know Ed Martin, who is President Trump's pardon attorney, is also helping out with the weaponization investigations. I know Ed Martin is in this fight for all the right reasons, and it wouldn't be him holding any of this up. I'm sure if he had it his way, a lot of these individuals would be dragged off in handcuffs by now. AG Pam Bondi has been a massive disappointment. Deputy AG Todd Blanche as well. Absolute disappointment. There's no excuse for any of the things that they haven't done yet. They still sit back and just kind of relax and enjoy everything that's happening, and they're not aggressive enough. You know, we're hearing about all these U.S. attorneys who are landing indictments. We've heard about, I believe, 3 so far. The reality of it is these U.S. attorneys aren't receiving any assistance yet from Pam Bondi herself. She sits back, she does her Fox News hits, but she doesn't actually help behind the scenes. A lot of these people feel like they've been left behind, or they're forced to do this all on their own, and she doesn't really have her hand in any of this. I think the Trump administration sees through that, though. I think President Trump sees it. I think that's the reason why they moved the Missouri AG over into the co-deputy director of the FBI role. I think he's just reading up and learning about all of these things. And if she doesn't act soon, I do truly believe that she's going to be swapped out for Bailey, who's right now sitting at the FBI.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it was a quiet change that they made, like, oh, look, you guys are going to be co-directors or co-deputy directors. Isn't that cute? You guys are going to be besties now. And it was like, that seems strange if that's not part of a master plan to start slowly moving people out. So I did at least I felt good about that. I was heartened by that. Chad, I want to ask you too, you mentioned the constitutional crisis that this would put us in. And I agree. It's why I keep talking about it on my show. It's just like, guys, we can't forget that we talk about the deep state all the time. They literally had a potato in office as president of the United States and were making decisions, and he didn't even know about it. That is as much as the Democrats like to talk about democracy, I mean, it's in their name, and it is the most undemocratic thing that you could possibly do, is to allow that type of behavior to happen. But I also go back to President Trump before he was elected the first time, when he was in the debates, and he said that he would lock Hillary Clinton up for, of course, her crimes, not just because she was his political opposition. And I keep going back to that and going, honestly, you should have done that, because now these people think that they're never going to get they're going to get a slap on the wrist. They're never going to be held accountable. They go through all of this. And then for what? It's just going to get worse the next time they get into office.
Yeah. Well, every morning I start my day by going over to X and I look at Breanna Morello's account, and she lists how many days that the president's been in office without an arrest from the Biden administration. It's sort of like walking into a manufacturing plant, seeing how many days since a lost time accident. There's still 0. So we had this government that was on autopilot. This is a presidency that was running itself like the captain in the airplane napping in the cabin. And so when you peel back the curtain, you find no wizard, just a pin on repeat. And that's what you've got. So I think Andrew Bailey is the 6-month plan. I think he was, if you go back from the date when he started with that co-deputy directorship. I think that he is the plan to move in there, and I certainly hope he is. I think he's a guy who'll bring some real justice. But the hypocrisy in the air is really thick. You know, when they say that Trump is unfit for office, and they say the adults were back in charge when Biden was elected, maybe there were some adults in the building, but not the ones with the title, because it was aides and staffers that are using Biden's name and signature without full knowledge or approval. That's criminal. It's certainly not leadership. It's impersonation. So, yeah, the irony is Biden campaigned on restoring decency and integrity. It turns out the only thing being restored was the ink cartridge in the Autopen. So history's not going to be kind to Joe Biden in this administration. So I hope that they will do something about this, because I know we the people are certainly demanding it. And I believe that maybe it's going to turn out that picture of the Autopen that Trump was using to troll as the picture of the president's isn't going to be so much of a troll, but a reality of holding him accountable.
Yeah, just actual history. It will just reflect history, honestly. I go back and I know we got to go to break here in a second, but I go back and I look at all of the ways that the DOJ run by Pam Bondi has screwed things up. And every time, I will tell you guys, every time, I am so salty about my last guest, Attorney General Ken Paxton here in the state of Texas. Every time I'm like, he never would have let that happen. He would have done this. He would have released it. Every time I can't stop myself. It's just like, golly, what a huge miss. What a huge missed opportunity that was to get a real warrior in that position. Hopefully this is the 6-month plan, as you guys pointed out. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.